Hi there and welcome back to the channel. As always, a quick reminder of who we are. We're the Balkan School of Languages, which is a language school based in the French-speaking part of Switzerland, and this YouTube channel is dedicated to helping you improve your English language skills. The aim of today's video is to give you some vocabulary to try and help you express your feelings. So a lot of my students overuse the words happy, sad, angry. Sometimes they modify it a little bit, which is great, and say I'm very happy, I'm quite happy, or I'm a little bit happy, which is great, but we can improve on that. And today I'm going to give you 3 ways to try and express your feelings with more nuance, a wider range of vocabulary, and consequently will be improving your language skills. So without further ado, let's go. So, approach number 1, in order to be able to express your feelings more naturally, would be to use an adverb. So as I said in the introduction, a lot of people do this, but the selection of adverbs they use is very limited, normally to very, quite, or a little bit. So let me give you some synonyms for these words to increase your vocabulary. So when you want to say very, so this could be positive or negative, it's just the extremes. You're at the extremes of the emotion. So you could use something like extremely to replace very, like I'm extremely happy with the results. Or you could use something like totally, I was totally surprised with the news. Another one you could use is seriously, I'm seriously afraid we might not meet the deadline. So these are 3 synonyms that you can try and use to replace very in combination with an adjective to express yourself with a wider range of vocabulary and emotion. So this is to replace very. If we then look at one level down from very, you have the word quite, which a lot of people use. Some synonyms for quite could be the word pretty. So the word pretty has 2 different meanings. When it's an adjective, it's like pretty woman, but that's not the use we're discussing here. Here it's an adverb, and it's being used in conjunction with an adjective, and it's being used to modify the adjective in the same way as quite is. So you could say, it's pretty hot today, isn't it? An alternative would be the word rather. This word's a little bit more formal. Pretty, it's maybe more informal, and rather it's more formal. So you could say, I was rather pleased with the feedback I received. And one last option would be fairly. And then examples such as, the film was fairly good. So you're just one level down here from very, essentially. And the most overused one I find is a little bit. You learn this when you very first start learning English, and you never forget it, and you use it again and again and again. But there are other words you can use in its place. For example, slightly. The goods were slightly damaged when they arrived. Or kind of. This one now it's a little bit more informal. You say his behaviour was kind of strange. And finally, another replacement could be for a little bit is somewhat. So somewhat, this is more advanced, this is more formal vocabulary, kind of more familiar everyday spoken language. But again, somewhat you could use an example such as, I was somewhat interested in his proposal. So here you have some different examples. The main message is to try and change your vocabulary from these overused words. You have 3 synonyms for each of them here. Try and put them into your language, and you'll be able to express your feelings more accurately and with more variety. Okay, the second approach to trying to express your feelings would be to use a more precise adjective. So instead of using one of these adverbs to modify the adjective, in English you have lots of adjectives, and you can use an adjective which says on its own what you're trying to say with the adverb and the adjective. Let me give you an example. So, very happy. We hear this a lot, and instead of just saying you're very happy, you could use a more advanced word, which is delighted. So, delighted means very happy. For example, I was delighted that you remembered my birthday. A synonym is also the word thrilled. A lot of my students have problems pronouncing this word, particularly as they're French native speakers. The TH is very difficult, but if you can master it, it sounds great. If not, just say delighted instead. Next for the word sad. So the word sad, already on its own, it's quite strong. It's a strong emotion. For me, it's more if somebody's dead or somebody's very sick. It's a very bad situation if you use the word sad. It's a very strong emotion, a very strong feeling. So we have some other words which are similar to the word sad, but maybe not as strong. And particularly if you're in a business context, the word sad isn't really used. So instead, in English, we have the word upset. So the word upset is less strong than the word sad. Upset, it's a word we use a lot in English, and essentially it just means not happy. So whenever you're not happy with the situation, you can say upset. For example, I was upset that nobody responded to my email. Guess it. If you say sad in this context, it's really too strong for the context. Upset, again, you're expressing your emotions, but it's more acceptable. It means that you're not happy, and it's something that a native speaker would probably say. Another word in a similar context is the word disappointed. This word is more directly linked to your expectations, however. So if you're expecting something to happen a certain way and it doesn't happen, you could then be disappointed. So, for example, if you organize a seminar, let's say, and you expect 500 people to come and only 5 people come, you could say, I was very disappointed with the attendance to my seminar. Okay, next the word angry. So the word angry, we have some synonyms. We can be more precise to express our feelings. It's already quite strong. So you could say maybe I was slightly angry, if you want to modify it, like we discussed in part 1. Or you could use a different adjective. You could say I was annoyed. Annoyed is similar to frustrated, maybe something that you're not particularly comfortable with, but you're not necessarily ready to fight. If you're angry, maybe you're ready to fight. Sometimes you are ready to fight, and maybe you want to use the word angry. Maybe you want to express something even more than being angry, and in that case, you could use the word furious. So instead of saying very angry, you could use the word furious, and furious means very angry. So you have some different levels, different adjectives in order to be more precise. This is an introduction. If you look in your dictionary or your thesaurus, you can find lots of different synonyms, and this is how you can gradually expand your vocabulary and improve your level in English. And my third and final suggestion for today for expressing your emotions is to use idioms. So idioms are set expressions, often using an image to express how you feel. It's something that I like a lot. I've made several videos already dedicated specifically to this topic. You can find some links up here or in the video description below. But I'll give you 3 for today. So when you're very happy, you can use the expression, I'm over the moon. This expression means I'm very happy. So you could say, I was over the moon with the feedback I received. This is great. This is very visual. It's a little bit more advanced. But if you can memorize these, then you can use these. You can replace I'm very happy with this expression, and I'm sure you'll have a good reaction when you use this. In the context of being angry, you could say, I was lost for words. So to be lost for words is the expression. It means that you're so angry. It's not just angry, actually. You could use this expression with all emotions. It's when you're overcome with emotions, when you have too strong emotions to be able to speak. Essentially, it's the image, I was so emotional, I couldn't speak. So you could use it in a context where you're angry. If you're very furious, you could say, I was lost for words when you didn't support me in that meeting. But you could also use it in a context maybe where you're very surprised. For example, imagine somebody organizes a surprise party for you, everybody jumps out surprised and you're very emotional. You could say, oh wow, I'm lost for words. So it's not just angry, it's overcome with emotions. So this one is good in lots of different contexts when you're expressing your emotions. So a good one for you to try and remember. So that's it for today. 3 different ways to try and express your emotions, to have more nuance, to be more in control of your language and to be more accurate and speak better English. I hope you found it useful. If that's the case, please consider subscribing to the channel. We have lots of videos on different topics. You can check out the links in the video description below. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video, and until next time, take care. Bye-bye.